Hello, besties. Welcome to Chronically Cozy Chats, a podcast normalizing a cozier way to do business for chronically exhausted entrepreneurs. My name is Randi, and I'm a cozy content strategist helping chronically ill and neurodivergent entrepreneurs grow their business in a way that works with their capacity. Today's guest is Abigail Alvarez, podcast manager and content repurposing specialist. And today we're going to talk about how to start a podcast, especially if you are low on energy. We're going to talk about the tools, the workflow, and share some cozy energy-saving tips. So sit back, get cozy, and let's chat. Hello, Abigail. I'm so excited to have you here. This is so exciting. We're going to talk about podcasting on the podcast.
Yay! So excited to be here.
So exciting. You and I, we've been having so much fun talking lately. So I just know that this is going to be like a really good conversation. For those who like faster paced conversations, I think that
you're in the right place. I will not slow down.
Notice that most of our conversations do go fairly quickly.
We know what we're talking about. I feel like our minds do the connection thing that you do when you're on similar platforms, not just professionally with marketing and podcasting and, website and owning a business, but also when you have those personal connections. We're both chronically ill, politically aligned, all the important things that make a genuine human connection we've got. And
the neurodivergent link up here.
Yes, that's the other one, neurodivergent. Absolutely.
So I always call like that peer-reviewed link up. When you just like connect with somebody, you're like, so it checks. Diagnosis.
Yeah. You get a little stamp on your punch card for neurodivergent.
It's like one of my favorite parts about like just like the community that I'm building here and like the different guests that I've had on. Like most of them are some chronically ill and neurodivergent. So like it's just so much of that. It's so fun. I love it. Abigail, tell us about you and everything that you do.
Okay, so in classic ADHD fashion, I do a little bit of everything, and I am trying to work against my brain's natural inclination to not niche down, because I'm totally on board with how you feel with like mission statement over niche, big fan, but to refine the services I actually want to offer. So I am prioritizing my content strategy focus because that is really the culmination of all my, various virtual assistant and office manager and, been on Canva for 7 years, etc. experience. So content strategy and podcast editing are my official title. That's the things that I do and the type of content that I put out into the world. Right now, my freelance business is mostly client structured. I'm really excited to do the actual back end things. We've talked before about how my personal marketing goal was actually to never show up online. Unfortunately, I have kind of given up on that. I do actually have to go find people to work with. I was really hoping to just circumvent that, but I don't get to be exempt from all the systems. So I am excited to find people that I am aligned with and actually work with that way. A little extra tea in my story: recently left a absolutely terrible client situation. I say client, it was a contractor job that I applied for, so it really wasn't like a client relationship that I had built. A lot of micromanaging, a lot of unethical business practices. So this is like my recovery from that, which is also very exciting because I love getting to connect with really genuine people and not people that are looking to exploit my labor. So yay for anti-capitalism.
I do love it. Here on Chronically Cozy, we have started using capitalism as a verb.
Yes.
We must do capitalism.
Unfortunately.
Against our will for the most part. Most of us would just give everything away for free if we could. If we were just talking about this. I've been focusing so much on my little free community and my free directory. And I just want to give all these things away. But then the mortgage comes up and my husband's like, hey, bills need to be paid. And I'm like,
yeah, I have to buy the medications that keep me alive, unfortunately. But totally shameless connection to our main topic. I love podcasting because it's anti-capitalistic. Like, yes, we're on platforms. I love podcasting because it creates social media content to fight against all these algorithms. In that sense, like, it's part of the machine or whatever. I'm doing air quotes. But at the
Yeah.
same time, podcasts are a source of sharing your community information in a very anti-capitalist way because we get to build connections, we get to strengthen community, talk about the things that we want to, and share business expertise for free. Like, this podcast is not behind a paywall. Most podcasts aren't. If you're going to start one, it probably won't be because you have a heart and a desire to share the things that you know and care about. And yeah, you might end up posting content on your socials as well because, like, we have to market to capitalism. But the heart and soul behind podcasting is inherently, at least to me, anti-capitalistic.
It's anti-capitalistic and community building,
Yes.
which is like, I think, like, I don't think the capitalists want us to have community. Like, they want us to be far apart. They want us to be depending on like their systems, their crappy systems that don't work for anybody.
Exactly.
Instead of our community. But like, that's the best thing about like, doing the podcasting thing. And while I would like, sure, I'd love to monetize a little bit, maybe get some sponsorship going on. And like, in like the kind of way, like I want to try and like monetize my content in the kind of way that like my ideal people are not the ones paying for it.
Exactly. Yes.
I want like, brands, we want to talk. Absolutely. Like,
podcast is another way to make that happen.
yeah, exactly. I would like, I'd like to do things like that, but I don't want to charge in like like have a subscription to it kind of way.
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas like, and like, I do this. So this is like not a shot at anybody who does that. Just throwing that out there. Like, love it for you if that is what you're doing and that's how you're monetizing and you're like doing your thing with your content. That's fantastic.
Yeah. One thing I've seen too is that people will have their main podcast, but then they'll do like a specialty private podcast that's available for like a one-time cost or a subscription, almost like a level up of that information. And I think that's such a great evolution of like, okay, you do have to make money. Capitalism is a thing. And also your knowledge and experience is something that you took time and money to earn. And so charging time and money for that absolutely makes sense. And I love the balance between sharing that information and also making an income. So podcasts have so many different forms that they can take. I absolutely.
So fantastic.
And Flip for being chronically ill.
I've so far had two other podcasters on the show. One I talked to, Abiding Hysteria, and she does like a whole medical side of things. And I talked to the Othering podcast, and they do like a whole political and society view of things.
Okay, perfect. So I have two new podcasts to listen to. Love that for me.
Oh my gosh, yes, you have to check them out. Like, throwing it out there because I want people to check these out. I do have a content creator section in my directory that I collect those, those kind of things in there. So where was I going with that? Anyways, but that was like the big thing that we were talking about with, we had other conversations about things, but we talked about podcasting and that like, it was just the easiest, like lowest barrier thing to get into as far as like making content.
Yes, absolutely. And it doesn't matter what platform you're making it for. One podcast episode, let's say that, it's a 30-minute solo episode even. You don't have to go find guests. You don't even have to do video. That is going to slightly limit how much you can repurpose. But let's say you do a 30-minute video, like that can be 6 reels that you can also post on Pinterest and YouTube Shorts. That can be at least 1 text carousel if you prefer to do it that way. You can pretty easily repurpose that transcript. It should be a blog post. It should be an email to your list. And that's just scratching the surface. I mean, you post the full video. Obviously, then you also have the show notes themselves across the various podcast platforms. And, you've spent 30 minutes filming. If you do light editing and, follow the Randi style, you've spent maybe 30 minutes editing. And then the time it takes to repurpose, you're looking at 2, maybe 3 hours, depending on how much time you're in that content creation process. And that is a week's worth of material across multiple different platforms. Like that's doable.
That's even editing. And there's so much of that you can automate. So like I record on Riverside, and I know you've said that you've used Riverside as well. Like, I really like them so far. They've been great. Their quality is really good. They do like this magic edits thing.
Yes. And
Love
Description
that.
does studio sound, so all the platforms have something very similar.
So they do the studio sound, the like magic edits, and they do the transcript thing. So like it makes it
Yes.
so like the amount of time I put into editing my podcast is the amount of time it takes me to listen through it, occasionally change a few things. Every time anybody says my name, it spells it wrong. So I have to go through and change it, like add captions, add the like intro, done. And then it's like
Exactly.
export it, and then it automatically like, and I add it to the thing, and it uploads it to Spotify and Apple. I don't know if there's really any other like other than YouTube, and like you can have it going to YouTube as well, but I have decided that I am going to manually upload them to YouTube because I want the video.
If you're using a hosting software like Podbean or Buzzsprout, or Libsyn as well, Libsyn is a fabulous choice. It will actually list your podcast in up to 12 directories as well. So this might be, someone's on SoundCloud, or their individual type of cell phone has a certain podcasting app outside of Apple and Spotify, and you can have that listed in a wider handful of places. So that's websites that your SEO, your direct links are all connected to, and more places for audiences you might not have even considered or known about to locate you and your content. So I definitely, and it's a lot easier too if you're working with a virtual assistant or with a podcast editor. They can publish to those multiple platforms a lot easier through a hosting software as well, either with Podbean or with Buzzsprout.
So can you have like multiple hosting softwares?
Tell me what you mean by that.
So like, because I'm on Riverside right now and it uploads it to, can I also add my podcast to like one of those other ones that you just said, like Podbean or something like that, that goes out to more directories?
You can. So every podcast has what's called an RSS feed. We're going to get a little technical for a few minutes. That RSS feed is like one common thread. I don't know if you know red string theory, where like everyone's connected. Think of your podcast the same way. It has its own string, and that RSS feed gets linked to certain places. It has one origin point. So right now, like you said, you're using Riverside to post to Spotify and Apple. So that's the origin of your RSS feed. You do have the option to switch that origin to Podbean or Buzzsprout. And what you would do instead, and what I do for my clients, is I download the final recording out of Riverside. And then I upload that MP3 into Podbean, which is where the RSS feed originates. And then it goes out into all the different places as like a network, basically, or a web.
Okay, that makes sense. I'm gonna have to look into doing that more and get it out to, like, how many different directories are there then?
I'll have to double check a Podbean number, but it's a decent list. And so for reference, the clients I had worked with in the past had all set up their like RSS feeds themselves. Then I started launching podcasts. So I've successfully launched 2 podcasts now. Like the client came to me and was like, I want to record, and that is it. And I was done. So I do like the full end-to-end managing for 2 very different styles of podcasts. And I took care of that setup process myself for the first time, and a decent amount of tech skills, but even being super entry level, it was really easy to figure out.
Yeah.
Libsyn is the one that I recommend just because it's the most user friendly. Buzzsprout is the most technical. So if you care a lot about, they allow you to do a intro, an outro, and then to add a commercial as well, and it'll actually automatically insert those for you. If you're interested in that and willing to pay the slightly higher Sprout monthly cost, great. Podbean is the most introductory and absolutely gets the job done well. That's the one that I actually set up for my client. It was pretty easy to use. It's like $9 a month for their basic plan. And as long as, you're not recording super extra long episodes, I think you're max at like 4 hours a month on their entry level plan, then it's a sustainable option for starting out without a huge like financial cost. If you want that RSS feed choice, you can also just manually post to Spotify and Apple Podcasts. And if you're the one posting it, it's easy to do the verification code for Apple and just get those taken care of pretty quickly.
Yeah. There's so many more things.
Yeah. You don't have to be super techie about it, but there are options, like you said, for automation and for simplification and eventually for outsourcing as well.
Like you said, they're like so easy for repurposing. And that was one of that's my reason why I really love blogs, and I will always really love blogs, and I will always keep blogging, because once you have a blog, you just have so much content to play with. Like, you have a script right there to like turn into a video. You have email content, social media everything.
Yep. And your
But
podcast
now,
itself can be the source. If you're like, I hate writing, sit in front of a screen, talk for 30 minutes. Boom, you have a blog post. I mean, it might need a little cleaning up, but like, you have a blog post, you have that email. You know, the repurposing can go both ways. If you're like, well, I have a blog with, 30 posts, great. You can sit down and record those. You can have the audio, you can have the video to turn those into social media clips. That way you're not having to write new scripts, act out in camera for an Instagram reel or whatever. Like, pull the fabulous information that you have already shared and put out into the world, whether it exists on your platforms in some way or if it exists in your brain. A podcast is a funnel to channel those things into a way where it gets into the rest of the world without consuming your entire life.
So, I mean, okay, let's back that up for anybody who's not like big into the marketing world of things. We both talk a lot about like long form content. Like, that's our big thing, is the long form content, and like the funnel that it can create that like social media cannot. It just can like suck people into your world in so many different ways. Like, you drive somebody to like listening to your podcast from your blog, or you can get them on your email list, and like all of those different kind of things for that. Like, and like nobody sees all of your content. So always be repurposing. These are like such key things when you're working with like the low energy and chronic illness. Like, I haven't written a new blog in a while, and that's fine, because all my other blogs are still getting views.
Exactly.
Through the SEO of it all. On that, where does SEO play in podcasting? Search engine optimization, for those who don't know.
Yes. There are so many directions I could go with this, but I'm going to start out with clarifying two things. Absolutely start a podcast because you want to, but then spend time figuring out how people are actually going to find it. If you're listening to this because you love chronic, cozy conversations, not necessarily because you're your own business owner, and you're like, man, I'd love to talk to all my friends. Like, great, do that. Do a podcast, connect it to your overall online internet, but make sure it's actually discoverable. And especially if you are a business owner, you're trying to exist within a certain section of the market, you have a specialization, do the SEO work to figure out how to frame your titles in a way that people are actually going to be searching for them. So today's title is how to start a podcast with my name, because people are going to Google how to start a podcast. That's what they're going to be typing in the search engine. And SEO can be just as simple as that, as thinking, okay, what are people going to be thinking about when they find the information that I'm trying to share? Like, who are my ideal listeners and how can I find them? And you do that by key search terms and keywords included in your show notes. That's why, think of the show notes as like a little extra bonus blog, like a mini little summary that you can pack full of your keywords, especially if you've been in business for a little while. Chances are you either do or you should have a brand keyword list of, your primary, your secondary, and your overall meta keywords that are like, these are the main things that my SEO strategy are built on. And if you're not, and then you're like, what the heck? Take a moment, pause, do a breathe, do an inhale, do an exhale, because this is not as complicated as it sounds.
I say that all the time when it comes to SEO. Like, so many people are like, I don't get it. And I'm like, honestly, it's just like a series of rules that the search engines would like you to follow when you create your content, so that when they send their little crawly bugs out to get it, they can find it. Also, they just want to know that it is useful, that it is created by humans, and all you have to do to give them that is create it by a human and add in those specific words.
Exactly.
The
I like to,
keywords are where a lot of people get tripped up. And I think that is because a lot of people really overcomplicate the research of it. Because there's all of
yes.
these
And
like keyword planners and keyword analytics and all of those things. And like they're fantastic if you really want to dig into it. And if you do, like power to you. I don't have the brain capacity. But if you know how to use Google, you can find the keywords. So
exactly. There's so many software programs out there too that are trying to get you to like pay their monthly subscription. And especially as neurodivergent ADHD individuals, like this is a hyper focused rabbit hole we can jump down fast. It is a slippery slope of if I'm not doing this right or perfectly, then there's no point in doing it at all. And it can become an overwhelmed situation really quickly. I like to create an analogy for SEO to help remove some of this overwhelm. Like, have you ever been to a library? I hope so. If you haven't, pause this right now and go because you have one and you should have a library card and local libraries matter.
second
But
that actually, yes. Yes.
once you get back from the library, finish this analogy because the library has what's called the Dewey Decimal System. It is a standardized purpose for how to find a book when you do enter the library. If I'm trying to find a book on marketing, I'm going to go to the nonfiction section, not, the teenscape section where all the young adult like dystopia novels live. It's a system for organization. That's exactly what SEO is. It's a
Yeah.
system to organize your site's information into the vast library that is the internet.
Oh my gosh, the library. Like the size the library would be if it was a thing. Yeah, no, and like yeah, SEO gets so overwhelming for so many people, but like it is really like have those keywords in there. Those keywords just have to be what the people that you want looking for would actually go and search, which means you don't have to complicate it. You don't have to use jargon. You don't have to use anything super fancy. Make it easy to like read.
Yeah. And a lot of these search terms are built into the programs you're using. Libsyn is at the top of my hosting service recommendation list because they offer in-house tags. So whenever I'm scheduling my client's podcast, I go in and I add keywords straight from her SEO strategy as the tags themselves because we already know that's what people are searching for. And it even helps differentiate the overall catalog of her podcast.
That's so cool. Yeah, I mean, like it's complicated, but it's not complicated, and I always have to stop and wonder because, like you, like I'm a very tech-minded person. Like I don't struggle with most tech. Like it's easy for me to figure out, and I always have to like stop and ask them, like, okay, is this one of those things that's easy because it's been a little bit of a hyper focus of mine, and I've spent so much time on it, and or is this like actually a thing that like is this easy? Is this beginner friendly? I have to
I think
ask.
it is solidly in the intermediate category. Like, you do have to know a lot about how the internet is connected, which is not necessarily something that we're taught or introduced to organically. So there's definitely, like you said, there's an overwhelm curve. There, you've got to apply the library example and put it in a container for your brain because same thing, black and white thinking is real, is real. And it can be easy to switch from like either, I know nothing or I have to know everything. Like there is that middle, there is that balance. My autistic partner is going to be like, no, there's not. I promise it's there. And SEO can be as simple as searching for podcasts that are similar to yours. So, one of my clients, they're photographers. And so I created them a photography and small business ownership podcast for the purpose of repurposing. I literally told them, I was like, if no one listens to your podcast, that's fine because you're going to have a bunch of Instagram reels. And that's the thing you've been struggling to create because so that's the problem we're going to solve. Now, people do listen to their podcast. They've had some great unexpected conversations because of it. But the way that we figured out what keywords would work for them, because other than marketing that I assist them with, like that's not an industry I live in. I'm not a photographer. Don't hand me the camera. I should not be trusted with equipment that expensive. Like I know my limitations. I know my diagnoses. Not happened. So we started searching like photography podcast just to see what came up. That can be the start of your SEO strategy is looking up what's in your niche and what terms are coming up on those first couple pages of Google. That can be your place to start. You just jump in.
There's a lot of things that I started my first business like 9 years ago. So like a lot of the like basics of doing like the market research and stuff like that, I learned so long ago. And I do like, it's the same thing. I have to keep reminding myself that like marketing and stuff like that it's not a natural thing for people. Like
I definitely
selling
have to learn it. I
and
never
like,
planned to do
but there
this.
are some people, like you meet some people and they're just so charismatic and they can sell you on air, like, that kind of thing. And I've never been that kind of person, like, per se,
I
but
I was
I
really
under
hoping to never have to sell anything. That was a main motivation to not have a business, actually, is I was like, people should just want to work with me because I
right?
like them. Like, can that be?
Was my, like, main reason I hated, like, job hunting because they're like, "Hey, we need a content writer," and I'm like, "I'm a content writer," and they're like, "Alright, sell us," and I'm like, "No, you said you needed a content
Yeah,
writer."
you're like, I signed up. Like, we're good. That's it.
Writer, like, now I have to, like, jump through hoops to be your fine,
Yeah. Yeah. No.
not into it. Can't even remember where I was going with
Yeah.
that.
I learned
But like
marketing accidentally. Like you were saying, it's not a super
marketing, yeah.
integral skill.
Well, like
I learned it because it was necessary to do the things that I was already doing. So like when I was in college, the local library needed someone on Saturdays, and I was like, please let me work here. I was like, technically, you don't even have to pay me, but I do like affording gas to get here. Um, but I was like, please. And so I ended up doing pretty much everything that required a computer. I was like, okay, these brochures have not been updated since the 90s. Let's use Canva. And they're like, I was like, I'm pretty
yeah.
sure that this website with light gray text and a cream background is not super accessible. And they're like, you can edit the website. Yes, I can. So I learned a lot of these skills organically. I wanted to be a teacher originally.
Yeah.
So like that was where a lot of that came from. And then chronic illness, of course, happened. But learning marketing was not an intuitive process. It was something that happened more organically in the jobs that I took. That like you said, I have to stop and remember the things that make sense to me now didn't make sense to me 5 years ago. It took time to learn.
Yeah.
Now the podcast curve overall, to like bring it back, to do a circle back,
Yeah.
is the podcast curve itself is really not anything crazy. I got started as podcast editor because one of my graphic design clients was like, hi, do you know anything about this? And can I please stop doing it? So now I did actually take a class on podcast editing in college because Yale, honors program, fun electives, fabulous.
Love it.
Very introductory level to like Adobe systems I haven't even touched because expensive. But I was like, yes, please. I would love to learn this. Like, let's just jump right in. And if I can do that, like, so can you. So can the listener. You got this.
I will say for sure, like, there are ways that you can like cobble it together. Don't use the good programs. Like, oh my gosh, it's so much easier. It's so much more worth it.
Don't try to do it in Audacity. I know Audacity is free. Look at me. I know it's free. That does not mean it's going to do the thing that you want it to do. That is a steep learning curve. Unless you happen to be a musician that has used GarageBand, no Audacity for you. Riverside is a bit more expensive. It does the clips really well. It's like $32 a month, I think. It does the clips really well. I do say that it's worth the investment, even for the occasional tech glitch. Descript is also a very accessible place to start. I prefer it for audio only podcasts because I can do much more niche edits. A lot of the podcasts I do are more storytelling centered. So, I'm making over 20 cuts a minute just to pull out like extra sounds, repeating, etc. And this is after the AI tool has done all of its like filtering and silence removing. Personal passion project. You definitely don't have to be as excessive with it as I am. It just fits my client's specific brand voice. But Descript is great for the audio podcast. It do let you do video, and you can pull clips from them as well. It is half the cost of Riverside. So like there's accessible choices. But free stuff is not one of them.
Can you do interviews with Descript?
You can. It is not nearly as smooth as Riverside, so same thing. I recommend doing your interview through Zoom or Google Meet, downloading the file, and then uploading that to Descript. It's not going to have the same like hosting software where, I have a Riverside logo in the top corner, like as we're having this conversation. That's more for uploading videos after the fact.
Okay. And so like when you do that, when you download it from like Google and then upload it into, can it do the same kind of like, because the thing I like about the everything, the magic edits, is that it can do the social ones.
Yes,
and
so
make it.
the script does pull clips. It pulls audio and video clips. I love the way that it pulls the audio clips, actually, and I use those as what's called audiograms. So if I have, a B-roll video or a, animated text slide for like Instagram stories or something like that, I can add the sound and have that as a video. So chronically ill people, if you're like, I'm not getting in front of a camera, that's not happening because I feel you. This is an exception. Then Descript is a fabulous option for that. They do also pull video clips. You can do video editing in there as well. They have some great on-screen captions that you can add. If you're going to do a solo like YouTube channel, you're filming 10 to 15-minute videos, I recommend Descript over Riverside because they have solid editing. So you can still do the same things in Riverside. It's just going to be a little bit less efficient, a smidgen more of a learning curve, but really not bad. So I recommend a free trial of both. What makes the most sense to you in your brain. Yeah.
Yeah, because of course it came down to like Descript and Riverside when I was looking through them. And I think I went with Riverside because it did the like interview things better.
Yes.
And that's what I wanted to do more of. Because I'm really, really bad at like talking to myself. Like just I mean, like,
Yeah,
okay,
also
not true.
I
I'm really good at talking to myself. When
not
nobody
in a
else
way
is
that makes
listening.
sense and would be published as a podcast.
Yeah, it's not going to make sense. It's not going to follow any sort of line. I am so bad at doing the like solo podcasting, and I really
And
like.
that's okay. That's a good thing to know about yourself. Like, you want to spend the time talking to people because also that's one of the main goals of your podcast is to create a network. So obviously, you want to talk to other people. Like, possibly the most important thing about podcasting I could say during this whole episode is that there are no rules.
Yeah,
there are none. There are zero. You can
do it all kinds of ways.
You can have as many guest episodes as you want. You can have as many solo. You can alternate. You cannot. You can release on the same day every week. You can release when you edit.
Yeah.
There's some best practices, of course, but
like everything,
this will work. Like, the audience will still be there. It's not like Instagram where if you don't post for a day, suddenly you've lost all traction on the algorithm ever, and it might have updated for the 4th time that month, and so everything's a different strategy now. Like, that's not how podcasts work. They are out there in the world. They are attached to your show, a lot like blogs on your website. They are there as evergreen, sustainable content, and it can be flexed in a way that makes the most sense for your life.
I love it. That is everything about like the long form content, and like that is everything about just creating like a cozy marketing strategy.
Yes.
Like, that's one of my biggest things that I'm working with people on, is creating that like cozier strategy, like finding that way that works for them. And most of it is just trying to convince them that they don't have to do and they don't have to follow all these rules that they thought they had to follow.
Yeah.
Like,
please do not do research on how to start a podcast. I'm serious. Do not. I will give me the next 3 minutes and I will tell you how to do it. You think about how much time and energy you have. Do you want to talk to people or do you want to talk to yourself and your computer screen? That decides your format. Pick a software based on what we just shared. Great. Now you have editing tools. Or hire an editor. Hi, hello. Shameless plug. Decide what your goal is. Are you trying to do lead generation? Are you trying to build authority? Are you trying to network with entrepreneurs? You're going to do all 3 of these things in your podcast no matter what. Decide which one matters most to you. Great. Do a little bit of SEO. Who's going to be listening? What's the title? And then you figure out a name. You make a cover image. You write a quick about section, and done. You have, seriously, like, you have a podcast at that point. Yeah. Great job. That is it.
That pretty much sums it
you
up.
Might record a short intro and outro
totally on a whim.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Mine was started totally on a whim, and that was exactly it.
ADHDers, this is a
I want to do this
or less hyper focus. You can have a podcast started in the amount of time that it's going to take you to listen to this episode. Like, you could be Googling names right now while we're talking. Those are all the things that you need to know to get started. And, there's lots of noise out in the world. People will say, oh, you have to have a teaser. You have to, start with 3 episodes, which is a common strategy I've seen. That's great. I love having content to listen to, but like, if you don't have 3 to release at once, no problem. Drop the first one. Just get it done. Get it off your to-do list. It will don't let it spend time becoming a big thing. I say this as someone who's very good at letting things become big things.
For sure.
I just put a digital product that I had created on Etsy after spending almost $72 I say almost, it was $72 in, basically ADHD tax of, I'm going to use Etsy Plus and like start the store and get my products out. April of last year is when I was like, yes, doing this. I did it yesterday. And that's okay because it's done. I have done it. Actually, it is your fault I got it done because it's for the podcast. Or no, not podcast, for the Pinterest workshop next week. So, yay. Very excited about that. Accountability, community, very important. Join the community. Be a part of it. So, anyway, those are all the things. But a podcast is a very doable entry level and it's sustainable. I could talk forever about how amazing the benefits of this are, especially for chronically ill people, because it's so adaptable to what makes sense for you and your life. You just have to actually be willing to do the adaptations.
And honestly, like, I think that like when it comes down to like the barriers that people are actually facing, it's very rarely like actual physical things. Like, they'll have the technology, they'll have the things. It usually comes down more to the like, well, I'm just not sure. Like, where do I want to start? And like, just do it. Don't start. I know, oh my gosh, I know. I'm so sorry to all of the neurodivergent people that I just said that. But like, also, there is like literally no other way. Like, you could overthink it for the next like year and
you
not
will not know everything about it.
Or you could have like 52 episodes recorded and posted if you
Exactly. And the best part, like, you don't need a whole day to start. This is not like making a website. It's not going to take you forever. This will take less than an hour to start, and put the time on your calendar. You might not, you might be driving your car and you're like, well, I can't sign up for Riverside at this very moment. That's okay. Put a time on your calendar and then keep that promise to yourself. And if chronic illness life happens, amazing. Put a backup time on your calendar. I have overlapping Google Calendar notifications now, and it literally says version 2 task that I was going to accomplish, because life happens, client work happens, chronic illness happens, my own brain happens, and occasionally I just don't fucking want to. Sorry, I don't know if I can say bad words here. Mark this one as explicit. But sometimes I just don't want to. And so I give myself that extra day to not want to about it. And then it gets done.
And like, that is so much of like the rest of marketing and building a business with a chronic illness. Like, I am talking a lot right now on all of my content about scheduling and stuff like that. Yeah. And like, what it comes down to is like matching it to your energy, not necessarily to like what you think you should be doing.
Yeah,
because like I did so much research on like how I should be doing things, and all it did was force me into like some kind of box that like was very uncomfortable, and
it's ultimately a waste of time. It feels like learning in that moment, but if it's not adapted to you, your chronic illness, and your brain, then you're wasting time that could be used taking care of your body. And I don't want you to hear wasted time as like, oh my gosh, I need to panic and blame myself. No. Today is a new start. You have learned this information for the first time. So all of your past self has done everything right because it was with the best intention. So now you can move forward with the new knowledge. As you can tell, my therapy has been paying off. I also want to add the disclaimer that these are the things I think. These are not necessarily the things that I do. I am learning. I say that all the time. And evolutions. These are very new. Some of these are very new strategies that have just worked for the first time. Like I said, a digital product created yesterday or published yesterday that I had created almost a year ago. Like, I could have been earning money this whole time, and I wasn't.
It was you that I was messaging about having like, I did something, I overbooked myself and I had to like take that step back. And you were like, do you want strategies or did you just want to vent? And I'm like, no, dude, I totally know all the strategies. Like, I have fucking books on the strategy. I could write the books on the strategies and do.
And that's why I asked, because I knew we were the same person.
Have ADHD and the autisms, and occasionally they win.
Yeah.
Oh, every once in a while I have to like go and go, wait.
Sometimes you
see what we did here. And I've actually just been doing that with my podcast recently. And like somebody else said that, they were struggling with this. So this is like another point that I want to share on podcasting, a thing that I've learned, especially if you do interviews. very likely you're not going to struggle to find people who want to come on your podcast. Like, people
So
want to
true.
do this.
Yes.
They want to come and talk, and they want to talk about their business, and they want to share their stories. And I love that. Love that so much. Don't overbook yourself. Don't book
You should
so
not
many
have.
conversations that you end up with a huge backlog. Again, do what I say, not what I do. That you end up with a huge backlog of things, plus still like a whole schedule list of things, to the point where you have to start turning them away because you've set yourself up for overwhelm. Don't do that.
Yeah. If
Do what
I can
what
provide
I
a
say.
concrete recommendation, do not have more than one a week. I don't care if you love talking to people. I don't care if that is the thing that brings you the absolute most energy in the world. You do not have more than 4 a month. If there are 5 weeks, fine, you get a bonus. But don't have more than one a week. Like, you don't need more than one a week because you have a podcast that comes out weekly. Do not, like, yes, I know that having things done ahead of time, like, feels good, but like you said, protect against that overwhelm. Be honest about your schedule. You can do this. But yes, you're so right. There are absolutely people that want to come on your podcast, and there are places to find them. You can give a shout out on Threads. Be specific about like who you're looking for so you don't get a bunch of like rando comments, but you can do a shout out on Threads, which is our favorite marketing platform. There's also multiple community options. So Candace Dudley has a great free community that is occasionally open depending on volume.
Following
Also,
that one now.
Podmatch is a really solid tool. You can pay for it monthly. So this is also, it's for hosts and for guests. So if you're listening to this, it's like, I want to be Abigail and speak on a podcast. I'm doing this for the first time, so yay me. Yay growth. Podmatch is a place where hosts and guests can find each other, basically. It's like a matchmaking platform. There is a monthly cost, and I've helped guests get booked that way as a marketing strategy, and it is worth the investment. But also there is a free option to join and, have yourself a profile there to be finding people that you're looking for as well. But as in our niche, as chronically ill, neurodivergent people, like, we all want to talk to each other. We all want to meet each other. Like, you will find people to talk on your podcast.
Yeah, I've had no problems with it at all. If you are going to put something out on Threads, and you will get bombarded, so do be aware of that. I like to put extra instructions in there that you require a person to follow. If you really want to make sure that you are whittling down and connecting with the people that you really want to connect with, and maybe if you're listening to this and you've seen my things before and I didn't connect with you, it might be because you didn't read all the instructions. So I'll usually add like a DM me, and I will only talk to the people who have DM'd me. And because like otherwise I go like, I've got 50 comments that now I have to put the effort into like connecting with. No.
Also, major shout out for your guest application form. Even though like we connected about this very organically and that wasn't like the way I initially reached out, filling that out was even a fabulous process for me to like reflect on my own goals and to feel really prepared for this interview. Coming in knowing what we were going to chat about, what kind of my perspective and thoughts were. Like, it was a great focus point for me. And I know that answering those questions have helped you find the right people and find people that are aligned with your audience and aligned with your own like beliefs and perspectives in the world. So yours is the best guest form I've seen so far. So congratulations. I've filled out quite a few. So that's quite a glowing recommendation.
I appreciate that.
If you're going to have a podcast
and I actually,
this one, which it's all interview, have a guest form.
Actually just did a little bit of improvements to it. After talking to Jess from Jess Creatives, that she does the Ordinary Business podcast. And I really liked it.
Was amazing, by the way. Like, I love the survey. We're shouting.
Yeah, right. Shout out Jess Creative. I love your stuff. I have a podcast coming up that she is on that is in my backlog of the things, and I'm super excited. It was
release that one before this one so that I can listen to it.
It's gonna come out like, I think I've got it scheduled or planned to schedule in a couple weeks.
Okay. All right.
So many. I have so many because I did not listen to the rule of do one a week. So I have so many, and I have so many booked, and I just recently I had one person have to cancel, and then they were like, "Can I reschedule?" And I was like, "Absolutely," but also I'm not taking any more scheduling until like April now because like I just cannot fit any more into my schedule. Best problems to have, right? Like
For sure.
you can
But
never really
also
have too
awareness
much
to have in your
content,
own
but also
schedule.
you can have an overwhelming amount of content. And you always need to make sure that you set boundaries, especially when you have a chronic illness, so that you don't overdo things.
The temptation
Again,
is strong.
I say
The chronic illness ADHD combo is a struggle.
constantly, it's like my brain's like, hey, we should do this. And then the other half of my brain's like, well, but we should also not do that. And my body is like, guys, you couldn't do that if you wanted to today. Like,
that is such an accurate description. Yes.
It's like this constant conversation between three chaos demons just...
Yeah. It's like, but we could, but we should, but also, fuck no. Like, not happening. If I could do as many things as my brain wanted to do, unstoppable. If I listened to my body about the things I did, no things. Zero things.
I'm very much a like, I will tell you to listen to your body and definitely like stop doing things before you're gonna burn yourself out. But also if it means that I would have to like leave my house twice,
ooh,
I'm probably gonna do more of the things than I should at a time and just get it done.
Yeah, that's fair. The leaving a house is a pretty solid obstacle to cross. Now that I work fully remote, it is one, the best thing ever. I'm never going back. Two, but the effort it takes to leave my front door, like, you gotta be worth it. So I'm on a library board, a nonprofit library board, and an arts alliance, and I'm like, these two things and seeing my mom are worth it. Like,
there better be a sweet treat involved, otherwise I want none of it.
Ooh,
none of it.
Fabulous choice. Yes.
Preferably caffeinated sweet treat if possible.
Obviously, yeah.
Obviously.
We're chronically ill. Caffeine's a must.
Even though I had 5 today already, and also doctors have definitely told me I should not. Anywho, I know that you don't have like a proper like website set up yet. Do you have a way that people can find you to work with you if they want to though?
Yeah, absolutely. So one thing that I do offer, like you said, I'm still building my business infrastructure capacity. But if you want to start a podcast and you're like, I need someone to sit there and like basically hold my hand and tell me what to do, amazing. I got you. I do strategy sessions. Normally they're $97, but honestly, if you just mention this podcast, like I will do it. I'll do it for 69. So you can send me like or link this podcast episode in either an email or a DM, and I'll get that strategy session set up with you. It's just an hour-long call where pretty much I give you a full info dump. So yes, the two best ways to contact me are on Threads. It's at Abigail R. Alvarez. We'll link that in the show notes so you can find me there. It is like 80% me talking about politics, so congrats and welcome to the inside of my brain. But yeah, DM me there. I will see it because I live on Threads. Or you can also email me at sproutsolutions.abigail@gmail.com. And we'll put that in the show notes as well. And just be like, hey, I am, either I need a podcast editor, or tell me more about content repurposing, or I need help starting a podcast. Those are all things I would be more than happy to collaborate with you on. And eventually I will have a website and we'll link that in the show notes too. I will send you all these things in an email so that you can put them in the show notes. Don't worry.
Thank you. Also, yes, appreciate it. Throw a picture in there as well. I have to keep remembering.
Okay, yeah, I'll get you a headshot and all that good stuff.
Oh my gosh, Abigail, thank you so much for coming and chatting with us and talking to us about starting a podcast. I hope that this has inspired anybody who is feeling like a little on the fence about things. If you are a chronically cozy entrepreneur and you want to come and share some knowledge with us, give me a shout. Find that really amazing form on my website there. And I will see you guys next week. Bye.